What is going on, guys? It's Touchdowns and Home Runs, and we're back. And today we got an NBA prediction video. Now, I haven't been back in a while. I haven't done any videos in a long time. So I'm just hoping to get back in it now. And starting off, we got the NBA season starting soon, so I want to start off with this video. Now, first I'm going to start off. For this video, I'm going to do basically the teams I think are going to make the playoffs this year in the NBA, starting in order from 1 to 8. And first I'm going to start off with the Eastern Conference. Now, obviously, last year the Toronto Raptors not only won the Eastern Conference, but they won the NBA in total. But that's different this year. We know they lost Kawhi. That's a big loss. He went to the Clippers. So this is obviously going to look different from last year. Now, my number one team in the Eastern Conference this year, there's obviously two teams you have in mind. It's either the Bucks or the 76ers, but I'm going to have to give it to the Bucks. Just Giannis is basically the biggest factor in all this. I think he is the best player in the Eastern Conference. It's either between him or Embiid, and that's excluding Kevin Durant right now because he's not going to be playing this year. But yeah, I think Giannis will really carry the Bucks. Same like last year, they'll get the 1 seed in the playoffs, and I think that's going to be the same this year. Now, number 2, I basically already said it. We have the Philadelphia 76ers. They lost Butler, they added Horford, and they still got Embiid, Simmons, and they're basically going to be the same team as last year. They're going to make a deep playoff run this year. I'm expecting basically at least we have Eastern Conference Finals, but basically the Eastern Conference is between Milwaukee and Philadelphia. Whoever wins that, they'll have a bid to win it all in the NBA championship. I don't know. Number 3, this one, it took me a while to predict, number 3, but I had to go with the Brooklyn Nets. Now, obviously, they don't have Durant this year, but they did add Kyrie. And just looking at how they did last year, like they were the 6th seed, and they still gave the 76ers a run for their money in that playoff series. And I really feel like Kyrie is going to lead them to that number 3 spot in the East. Now, number 4, I had to put the Toronto Raptors. Obviously lost Kawhi, but they still got Lowry, they still got Siakam, they still got Gasol. And one of my bold predictions for the season is actually Siakam is going to win MIP again this season. I feel like he's going to improve even more than he did last season, and that's going to be a reason why Toronto's number 4. Now, Boston, we have number 5. They lost Kyrie, but they still have Kemba, and they lost Horford too, but they got Kemba. Obviously, he's a good player. He's not, top 10 in the league, but he's probably in that top 20 range. He'll be enough to carry Boston to that number 5 spot. Now, number 6, we have one of my favorite players who just transferred to this team, Jimmy Butler on the Miami Heat. He can really carry a team. I know he's a really good player. When he was on the Bulls, my favorite team, him and Derrick Rose were a really good duo. And even with the rest of the guys on the Heat, they still have Winslow, they still have Dragic, a bunch of those guys that could really help them. And I think that they're going to make the playoffs this year. Number 7, we have the Indiana Pacers. Obviously being the number 5 seed last year, they're still a good team. They got Oladipo, Miles Turner, who are really the 2 big guys who I think that will get them to that number 7 spot. And this one's a bold prediction, but number 8 in the Eastern Conference, I have my Chicago Bulls. Now, obviously, there's still Detroit. I even think Atlanta has a shot at this, but I give it to Chicago, not just because I'm a fan. I'm excited to see what Kobe White does this year. He could really stand out. We need that point guard. We need a top-tier point guard, and I feel like this could be our guy. I still like Zach LaVine. He's a great player, but I feel like Kobe White could take us to that next level. We still got Markkanen. Wendell Carter Jr., I feel like he will really take a step up this year. Who else do we got? Dunn. Just a bunch of other guys that could really lead us to that 8 spot. Now, in obviously the most stacked conference, we have the Western Conference. Kawhi transferred there. AD, well, he was already in the West, but he helped the Lakers. They got LeBron. There's just a bunch of good players in this league. And this conference is stacked, and this was a really hard one to choose. Number 1, there's obviously you either have Clippers, Lakers, or Warriors, and I had to go with the Clippers. Kawhi Leonard really showed last year how he could carry a team and lead them to a championship team. And not only did they add Kawhi, the Clippers, they added Paul George too, who was runner-up for MVP. So those two are going to do some damage this year, and I believe they will be better than the Lakers. Number 2, now everyone will be like, oh, it's obviously the Lakers, but that not for me. I'm going with Golden State. You have Thompson hurt, Durant's injured, Durant's gone, and who else? Cousins left. But I feel like Curry will really break out this year. We added D'Angelo Russell. Willie Cauley-Stein's there, and you still got Green. And I feel like in regular season, the Warriors will do better than the Lakers because I still feel like the Lakers have a lot to figure out in how their play style is and how they're going to get going as a team. Now, number 3, I have the LA Lakers. Obviously, you have AD. They added Danny Green. They added DeMarcus Cousins. And you have LeBron. Obviously, those 4 right there will really help the team. But I just feel like since LeBron last year, they didn't even make a playoff team and a playoff spot. And when LeBron did that with the Cavs without Kyrie, like that 2018 season, he was able to get them to the finals, and he couldn't even take this team to the playoffs last year. So I feel like they still have to arrange some stuff and how they're going to be a good team this year, but I do feel like in the end they'll pull out and at least get in that top 3 spot. I have them number 3, but they could easily take that 2 or 1 spot. Number 4, I have Houston. Now they have James Harden and Russell Westbrook now. Those two, I don't know what to say about those two. They're both great players, but they're both known as ball hogs and guys who want the ball, but guys who want to score like all the time. And I just don't know how those two will mesh. Like, obviously, they could be up higher in these rankings. But for that reason, I just need to see how they play first before I really put them up higher in this conference. Number 5, Denver. They were the number 2 seed last year. They're a good team. Jamal Murray, Jokic are the 2 big guys on that team. And, like, they'll still be good this year. I think that they'll be, like, as good as they were last year. But just with the additions to guys on the other teams of the Western Conference, I had to give them the 5 spot. 6, Portland, Damian Lillard. They did good last year. They made the Western Conference Finals. They beat the Nuggets in the the Western Conference semifinals. So Portland this year, I feel like will be as good as they were last year, or maybe downgrade a bit. I just don't feel like they'll be good enough. They're playing. They should be top of their division, them and Denver should be, but I still feel like Denver will have a leg up on them this year. Number 7, Utah Jazz, Donovan Mitchell, Rudy Gobert, top 2 on that team. They're a good team, just not good enough to get in top 6, but they are good enough to make the playoffs, so that's why I had to give them number 7. And my last team on this whole list, the number 8 seed, I feel like, in the Western Conference, is San Antonio. Now everyone's probably saying, oh, why isn't New Orleans there? They have Zion. I just don't feel like that they're ready yet. Like, Zion's a good player, and they got a bunch of other guys. They got, like, Lonzo, Brandon Ingram, I think. But they just got to develop those guys. I don't think they're ready to take a step to the playoffs. But San Antonio actually did good last year in the playoffs. Like, they got, who was it? They got Denver or Portland to Game 7 last year in the playoffs. And they're a good team, obviously. I love DeMar DeRozan. Good player. And I feel like he will lead them back to the playoffs this year. So that's it for this video. Those are the teams I think are going to make the playoffs this year in the NBA. And that's it. Just come back next time for another episode.